Hey guys, so this is my vintage Elna Supermatic Star 62C. It's a straight zigzag and cam stitch rotary hook sewing machine with a drop-in bobbin. It's again another one of these more modern machines that I've just been kind of playing around with. The Bernina 730 record, which I have, and also a FOF 1222. So these are a little bit more modern. And they have some more modern features. There's a little bit more plastic in here, some nylon gears. But overall, this one's, so far I've been pretty impressed. For lighter duty work, I mean compared to a 1940s like FOF or a Singer, I don't think you can beat those for durability and just like heavy duty applications. But for general sewing, I've been pretty impressed with these more modern machines. So if you have one of these, or maybe you're considering it, I'd recommend it for like light to medium duty. But man, this is a big but. The older machines that kind of came after the era of all metal gears, where they started introducing nylon, this one has nylon gears, and it's pretty common for them to break. So this one was actually they were selling it as a parts only machine because they had a gear inside break. They contacted a sewing machine mechanic, and I don't know if they gave them a quote that was just way too much to repair, or I think they said that it wasn't even repairable. But it is, and you can buy replacement parts, and they're widely available on eBay, and that should give you an indication of the frequency that these things break. Because if there are multiple sellers selling this piece, and also the another lower gear here, then you have to assume it's a fairly common problem. But if you have one of these machines and it breaks, it is worth fixing, I would say, especially if you can do it yourself. And I'm going to show you the process for doing that. I didn't find anything, or I couldn't find anything online kind of outlining the procedure, so I kind of just tore it apart and had a look and figured out how to do it. So I thought I would share with everybody else who may be trying to repair this for themselves, or they're looking at one that's broken that they want to give it a go. So I'll put a link maybe for where you can buy these, but just search Elna cam gear, and they're all over eBay. And I think there's another company out there, another website selling an actual repair manual showing the process, but I'm not sure how in depth it really goes. But I just thought I would show my process. So this might run a little bit long, but at least you'll get a detailed look at what's involved if you're going to tackle this yourself, so you can feel a bit more comfortable going into it. So I'll just jump right in and just show you the process for accessing this gear. It's a pretty major teardown. So first thing you're going to do is remove the top cover, and you do that via this screw and this screw here. So I'll pull that apart. Just kind of bear with me as I already unscrewed these, so that'll pop right off. And then you'll have a look now at what this looks like. So you can see it's pretty crowded up here. Not as bad as like the Bernina, but there's a lot going on. And unfortunately, to access the gear, which is underneath, this is the cam reader here, everything has to go, including the upper shaft and the hand wheel here, and you have to remove the upper and lower timing belt. So there's a process here, but the first thing that you're going to want to do is there's going to be a little C-clip here, and just take a little screwdriver and wedge in and pop it off. I already removed it the first first round I had of taking this apart, so I didn't want to put it back on. But you're going to remove that, and then you're going to remove this spring here. It connects on this side and then over here. You can unhook it on this side. So just go ahead and unhook that. And once you remove that C-clip, don't lose it, set it aside, and this whole section should come off. So just set that aside. And then this will give you a little bit better view at what's going on. Next, you're going to take a Phillips head screwdriver, and there are 3 screws holding this assembly on here down to the base, and then another one over here. So you're going to take out one here. So you're going to remove that. Okay. And a little trick too is you see how this is holding onto the screw? if you have like a magnetic theme guide, let me find mine. You know, I don't know where mine is, but if you have a magnet, this one's a little bit small, but if you have like a larger seam guide or something, run your screwdriver across it like this, and it will basically charge that and magnetize it. So you'll be able to grab these screws. So you're going to grab that one, and there's one over here. So you're going to pull that one out. Okay. Set that aside. And now there's one down through, I'm not even sure if you're going to be able to see it, but you're going to have to drop your screwdriver down. There's a slot here, you'll see it. It's a Phillips head, and you see this. So if I have a light, I don't have a, oh, I do have a flashlight here. So it's right in there. So you're going to drop it in, pull that out. I already removed it because that one was a little bit more difficult to access, so I didn't want to put it back in. And the next thing you're going to do is take a smaller screwdriver and pull off this front piece here. There's a little screw here. So take that out, and you can take that off. Set that aside as well. Okay. Now, the thing with this is that this upper shaft goes through this whole piece. So you can't just pull this out because it's being held in place by this lower shaft. And there's a worm gear on here. There's a gear right here that you're going to have to remove too. So the other thing you're going to need is Allen wrenches, metric. And I just realized I left them out in the garage. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back with those. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. So you're going to need an Allen wrench, and the sizes that you're going to need are 3mm and a 2mm. The 3mm is going to be for this end part here, so you're going to have to remove this set screw that holds this end piece on. So that is going to be your 3mm, and you're going to have to remove it all the way out. And don't worry about like the timing on this, because the timing on this is held in place. So you can see this has got like a sharp point at the end there. It's held in place. There's a screw, it goes all the way. So you put that, when you put that set screw in, it locks it in one position on the shaft. And it's only accessible through one side, so you don't have to worry about that. The next thing is this gear. So you're going to take your 2mm and you're going to rotate the hand wheel around until you see this gear on here. Now there are holes on it. Let me see if I can get a better shot. You see in there? See if I can see. There are all these holes. Now the holes are going to go around, and you're going to see there is a set screw there. I can't even tell which. Oh, I got lucky. So there, I found the hole. Now there's going to be two holes that lead down to the set screw. One side is going to lead down to the bottom of the set screw, so you won't be able to insert your 2mm wrench. And then one side you'll be able to drop it in. So find that, and you're going to loosen it. Now you're not going to back it all the way out. In fact, you're not going to be able to take it out because it's going to stop. The holes aren't large enough for the screw to come out. So you're going to back it off until it's pushing up against the gear. And then you're going to do maybe a revolution, one revolution. Let's see if that worked. It did. So back it all the way off until it touches the gear, and then do one revolution forward, or to tighten it. And that will loosen that gear so you can slide it around. Now it may be tight. Mine was pretty tight. I had to kind of soak the area in, I think I used a Croil or some kind of braking compound, a penetrating oil. Liquid wrench, penetrating oil, something like that, to get it loose. Okay, so you can loosen that up, back that off. Then you're going to have to remove this piece here too. So it's just a screw, but there's a little arm connected to it on the underside. So I'm going to do that. I need two hands. see if it's elevated so you can get a better shot. Yeah, so you can see that there. Alright, so you're going to loosen that screw. And there's a little washer underneath it, so don't lose that washer either. So that's going to come off. And this arm now, which controls the needle swing, hold on, sorry. Trying to get to it here. So you should be able to move this. There we go. So move it. Move it to the 0 position on the stitch length, and that'll pop off. And then this arm that's underneath it. So that's that arm that's underneath it. So it goes like that. So set that aside. In fact, you might even want to put the screw back in that you took out, just to screw it right back in so you know where it goes. Okay, now for removing the hand wheel portion of this. So there is a C-clip at the end of this that you're going to have to remove. I already removed it, so I can't show you, but it's a standard process. Basically, you can either try to wedge it open and then pop it off. You can use, if you have the snap ring pliers, you can use those. But once you get that off, all you do is loosen it, as if you were going to, take off the tension to wind the bobbin. So you pull that off. There's going to be a washer here. You want to make sure that see how it's curved like this, concave and convex. So you want the convex side out. And you set that aside. And now I'll show you what this wheel is. So you're going to just slowly rock it and pull it off. Now this is actually an aluminum wheel. It's pretty good weight to it. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to using these heavier weight hand wheels. But that one seems to be a pretty good weight. And then here, let me see if I can get a flashlight so you can see a little bit better. See that wheel right there? This wheel, this friction wheel, this is what the motor basically is driving that hand wheel. So this whole cleated nylon belt here, this is all, this is the upper and lower shaft timing. So here's what I did to maintain timing on this. And you know, there might be a different procedure that you may think will work, that might work better for you, but this is what I did. I rotated, sorry, I was checking here. So I rotated I'm trying to see what's the best view. Rotate the wheel until the hook point, you can pick any arbitrary point on here. I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to see a great angle or get a great angle for you, but you're going to rotate that hand wheel basically until a hook point matches up with just any arbitrary mark that you want to make. Or you can even take a Sharpie marker. Actually, I think that's what I'll do this time around. Let me grab a Sharpie. Okay, so this is like a permanent, little pen. So I already made a mark on this, so I'm gonna rotate. You can see I already made a mark here. See if I can get to focus there. So I already made a mark on the belt, and I also made a mark on the plastic here. So I scored a little line in that plastic. Actually, let's see. Just want to make sure I can still see that. Alright, sorry about that. So what I had to do basically was rotate the hand wheel around a few times. That's what I was doing when I stopped the camera to get these two hash marks to line up. So earlier what I had done was mark just a little line on the belt. Now in retrospect, I probably should have done it on the belt. I probably should have just marked the tops of the steel for two of these with just a Sharpie marker. It's not a big deal, but I would have done it here and here, and then put a little hash mark on the plastic so you know where these two things need to align. Now go to your hook and look at your hook. Now, what I had done the first time around was just kind of line up the tip of the hook here with this like notched opening here. A better thing to do would be, because this rotates, let me rotate around. See these two pieces rotate around, one's fixed and one rotates. So take a Sharpie or something and mark on these two lines. And this way you know, at least if you remove the belt, where, you know, that this needs to stay in position and this needs, you know, the belt needs to go here. So, because right now, the next step is going to be to remove the belt. So here we're going to rotate this around, and you'll see inside there are 4 Phillips screws. Now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is where it really helps to have a magnetized tip on your screwdriver, because these will fall down into your machine. So I'm going to grab a screwdriver and pull those out real quick. So there, there's one. See, this is starting to lose its magnetism. Let me grab a thing here. Okay. Go ahead and pull that out. Three, and then 4. Okay, now you're going to very carefully, I'm going to rotate this around so these are all lined back up again. Okay, you're going to slip this off. You're going to slip your belt off very carefully. Okay, kind of put a little upward tension on it and just lay it down on the side. Okay, just let it hang over on the side there. Now we've loosened up the gear, we've taken this out, pulled off those 4 screws at the end. This whole upper shaft now is ready to slide off. So when I get closer, I'm going to do that, and so you can just see what's going to happen. So just grab it and just kind of rock it out. And you'll see the whole upper shaft comes out. Okay? And there you go. Now you can see you still have your set screw in there. That's where that worm gear, or that spiral gear there goes. And then this is, you can see for timing the end here, there's only 1 screw or 1 opening, and it can only go in one way. So that's, you'll know that that will preserve your timing as long as your hash marks here and everything are right. So I'm going to go ahead and set that on the side. And you'll see here, this thing is pretty impressive. I mean, it's nice. This has shielded ball bearings here that this shaft rides in. I mean, that's pretty nice. No bushings. So, okay, so that is now out. Okay. Now, this whole mechanism now is going to be able to come out. So what you're going to want to do is tilt it out. You're going to tilt it back because of these dials, and it'll come out. And so here it is. Here's the worm gear that breaks, and you can see half the teeth are missing on this. Literally half, 50% of them are gone. And this is held on via a pin. So we're going to have to drive that pin out to get the gear off, and then we can install the new one. And then grab your gear here, and there's that gear that drives, that sits in there and drives the cam. So you can set that aside. I'm going to go grab the tools and press this out, and then I'll come back. I think I need to change the battery on my camera too, but I'm going to go grab the tools, and I'll show you the next steps. Alright guys, so I just got back from the garage from driving the pin out out of the side here. It's a really straightforward process. What you're going to want to do is just put this in a vise, if you have one, or figure out a way to hold it to keep it from rotating. And I basically clamped it with the vise here and here. And what that did basically was just put all the pressure on this, and it held the gear in place. And then I took a little tiny little pin nail that fit in the hole, and I just used a hammer and drove the pin out with that, and it was fine. So the pin came out, no problems. It's not deformed or anything because you're going to need to reuse it. And you'll see now the gear comes right off. Okay, and so will that. But so you know, this comes out here now that the gear's off. Oh, there's a washer on the bottom. I just dropped it down into the machine. I'll have to pull that out. Anyway, so here you can see. Don't lose those washers on the bottom. I just found out the hard way. So here's another one. It just came off here. So I think there's a handful of them. But I'll get that one out of the machine that it just dropped down. That's a little frustrating. But you'll see here it is. So here's the broken one with all the missing teeth. And here you can see that in the light actually better in the window shade. And then here's the good one. So you're basically going to just repeat the procedure. You're going to put it back on the same way that you took it off. So I'll do that. Now I'm going to press the pin back in and I'll show you the reassembly process. But I think I'm going to break it into 2 videos. So this will be the disassembly, and then I'm going to load it into the next video for the reassembly. So there you go. Thanks, guys.